Hello, hello. We are live. Welcome. My name is Katherine Lawrence. We're watching Hoarders tonight. We're watching season 12, episode 2. That is the episode called Forrest. That is the gentleman's name. I wanted to jump in here about 5 minutes early to kind of tell you guys how this is going to work. So I have obviously a camera here, and that's what I'm going to be talking to you guys through. When you come in, go ahead and leave a comment so I can check that everyone is here. And if you're watching the replay, anytime tonight, if you want to ask a question or if you have a comment, just put replay and then type out your comment or question, because I will leave this video up and I will be checking this post for comments in the future. So how this is going to work, what I recommend is that you have me maybe on your cell phone or tablet, and you want to go ahead and get A&E up. I have mine here on a tablet that I'm kind of watching the show this way, and then I'm going to be talking to you guys over here. And let me see here. Okay, great. Now you have a little bigger picture of me while we're waiting for people to join. So a little bit of housekeeping before we get started. I am using new software tonight, which I'm very excited about. And if we get cut off, please just kind of close down YouTube and then reopen it. You might, if you get cut off and I'm still here, you should be able to go right back into the event and start back up with the live stream. If I get shut down for any reason, then what would happen is you want to open YouTube again, and then we may just kind of start like a part 2 of the video, because I can go back in and do a sort of a second video if we get disconnected. Awesome, great. So I see a couple of people joining here. If you are joining the live, what I would recommend is that you go ahead and get the show prepped. So you want to have your A&E Hoarders episode 12, which should be starting in a couple of minutes here on one screen, and then you can keep me on another screen. And if you're new to my channel, what I do quite a bit on my channel is live Q&A. And I'm usually talking to other professional organizers and other professionals that are getting into this business. So we have some Q&A with that, and but tonight is a little bit different because I've kind of invited really anyone from the organizing business or from anyone actually to come and join and talk to us. So while this is loading up, I'm actually going to check to make sure that my YouTube is going live here as well. I've got one comment here that it is loading. So let me see if I can find myself here. Okay, cool. I can see it live here. And I think there is a little bit of a delay, so you guys are going to be a couple of minutes behind me. But yeah, when you come on in, I'd love to know where you're watching from this evening. Awesome, thank you. I'd love to have an audio check, like how's your sound? So I've got you are crystal clear. I do have this huge microphone right here. Sorry, it's kind of taking up some of the screen, but awesome. Okay, good. Yeah, so go ahead and set up Hoarders. I think we're about 1 minute out. On A&E right now, they are showing an episode. And of course, I got my popcorn here, and then I'm watching, and it's like one of the messiest, kind of grossest episodes is what's on now. So I've kind of been, looking at that and watching. But our episode, Forrest, is about to start any minute. And I also made a mistake by getting popcorn because I have 2 very hungry dogs here that love popcorn. So they are probably going to be bugging me as we are watching this show together. If you're watching live or on the replay, what I'll be doing is kind of giving you some cues on the show, like, hey, we're coming back from a commercial break, or hey, they're queuing up, and kind of telling you what's on screen as well, so that you guys can sync up with me. If you get a little bit behind or a little bit ahead, don't worry about that too much. But I'll kind of tell you guys where we are in the show. And certainly you can ask questions in the comments anytime during the show, and I'll be answering those as I'm watching. Since I am a support organizer for this show and my parents do not have cable, I'm probably going to be watching the show again soon. So I don't mind if I'm kind of talking over the show a little bit while I'm talking to you guys and answering questions. Okay, so we are showing Forrest and this beautiful home. And they're kind of introducing, I mean, this is an absolutely gorgeous home. I think they'll do some aerial views. This is in a beautiful, golfing community. This is in a really nice area. And yeah, you can see the problem that his neighbors would have with this type of space. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So this is going to be quite the show this evening. And if you're just joining me, my name is Katherine Lawrence. I'm a professional organizer, and I was one of the organizers who helped out on the show. I was a what they call a support organizer on this episode of Hoarders. And I was fortunate enough to get called in because I actually live very close to this location. So I was called in as a local organizer, and that's how I connected with the crew here on Hoarders. Okay, so we're doing some aerial shots of Fredericksburg, Virginia. And yeah, not too far. It's about 30 or so minutes from where I live. Oh, hi, darling. All right, I see some comments coming in. Let me go ahead and add these comments so you guys can chat together as well. See if I can get our comments up here. Oh, I think every time I turn the chat off, all the comments go away. So as you guys are commenting, they'll load back up here. Yeah, and if you guys want to watch the episode at any point in the future, we can just chat. Because like I said, I'm probably going to see this episode a couple of times because I've got some family members that want to see it. Awesome. Hi. Test. Yes. Yes, you're back. Okay, so they're introducing Forrest. Oh, they're showing that lovely refrigerator. I remember that refrigerator. And his son, AJ. So with every episode, you have the homeowner, and then you also have the family members and the friends. And, one thing that I learned working on the show is really what a powerful component the friends and family members are to the show. And as a support organizer, I am often working with the friends and family members to, sort and go through things. And then the what I call the talent, the Matt Paxton and Dr. Zazio and that crew is working with the homeowner. But yeah, the family and friends. I mean, think about it, you guys. These guys take off basically a week of their life to come and support someone, which is really amazing. Think about that, in your life, if you would take off a whole entire week to help someone out of the situation. So yeah, I mean, total respect for the people who come out and help. Okay, so what we're doing in the show right now is sort of the friends and family introduction. Yeah, and they're talking about how Forrest lives in a nice neighborhood. I mean, this is a golf course community. I'm sure there's a homeowners association that isn't too happy with how things are right now. And I think what's really interesting for me is that I kind of come in as part of that cleanup, but I don't necessarily see, all of this backstory. Hello. My husband's coming in to join us. So I'm actually learning quite a bit just watching the, episode here because also I spend, and you guys will see this. Hi, Joe, you going to join me? You guys are going to see this during the cleanup process. I spend a lot of time outside. So, I didn't actually get as much of a view of the inside of the house as you guys are getting right now. You see, okay? Can you put up on your phone and tell me if you can see the comments? Wow. Yeah, so you can see from some of these initial shots, like clothing. Clothing is that thing that Forrest really loves. Yeah, clothing inside, outside, in bins, on hangers, in closets, in showers. Yeah. Wow. Oh, hello. Okay, we have some more folks joining us here. I'm going to go ahead and let me see if I can go into full screen mode so I can see your comments. Oh, good. Okay, great. I see a few more people joining. So we are still in our intro here. We have not hit our first commercial break. If you're trying to sync up with me, they're still doing kind of that initial house tour. I'm guessing that, we're going to continue with the interviews for a little bit and kind of get a little bit of this backstory from Forrest and AJ. Oh, I know what I can do. I can pull your comments up here. There we go. Yeah. Hi, Trisha. Yeah, she's saying she decluttered before the pandemic. It's kind of amazing once you sort of empty out a room and then you just, have that feeling and you live with it. It's really hard to go back. Okay, we've got Florida here. We've got Canada. Oh, wow. Look at these. Yeah, I mean, I think one of the amazing things about Forrest and his story is just, how involved he is with the community. I mean, it's just, he was just an amazing guy to work with. And, you're, I'm sure it's painful for his family and his friends and all the people that love him to kind of see this situation. Mm. Yeah, I mean, you definitely, Forrest here is talking about how his house was, the place that everyone came, and yeah, I mean, after a little bit of work was done, I did spend some time in that house, and yeah, it's beautiful. It's perfect for entertaining and large parties, and I'm actually going to turn my volume up a little bit. So I'm usually coming in what they call the cleanup period of the show. And, as I was getting ready tonight, I was thinking, wow, I'm washing my hair and I've got my hair down. So you guys are not going to recognize me on this show because when I saw the trailer and my hair pulled back and I think we had bad weather and, my hat and everything, yeah, we had some real interesting weather here in Virginia.
It made me very angry. It really did. Because I felt like he didn't care about nothing but his stuff. I could no longer stay in my room.
Awesome. So Leanne says I'm taping right now and I'm going to be watching it later. Yeah.
Thanksgiving. We could have Christmas. We got family and friends over.
Yeah, that was something I heard on the Facebook groups today too, that sometimes people watch this show and then it makes them feel very motivated to clear out their own houses. I know all these years, I've been working as a professional organizer actually for 19 years. I just had my work anniversary last month. Actually, no, this month in March. And yeah, I can tell you I've definitely come home from jobs and, very cluttered environments where I was like, oh, I don't need this thing. I can live without this thing. And it really can motivate you to pare down and live with less.
My father's living situation is very sad, but he's literally destroying the house.
My house used to be a palace, and now, unfortunately, it's become a dungeon.
Yeah. So love watching to inspire me to clean. Also love all the effort the show puts into being genuine and helping people at risk to suffer from this disorder. Yeah, I mean, it is such a large crew of people that help out. Of course, you have the experts, you have the doctor, but you've got the guy that drops off the dumpsters. You've got the guys that are dropping off the storage pods. Of course, you've got the cleanup crew. You've got the professional organizers, and a cleaning crew. That usually comes in right at the end there to put those final touches on the house. Yeah, I think you guys are really going to enjoy the reveal on this one.
If my father doesn't clean up his house, I think he'll lose the house. I really do.
I'm currently faced with some funds from the HOA. I do have some challenges in making sure they're satisfied.
I love this comment. I'm glad over the past year or so I've learned to be picky about what I buy and spend money on, and to buy more things I actually use, clothes, things that I'll actually wear. Yeah, I love that. I mean, that's really what it's all about, is being very intentional about the things that you keep in your home. And, in the case of hoarding, something just, gets wired a little differently, and, the abundance of things really takes over. Yeah. Okay, we are at our first commercial break, if you're going to sync up or watch the show live. So, yeah, I feel like, for me as the organizer, I'm always excited to okay, let's get to the cleanup. Come on, let's go. Let's do this. And even, I don't know if you guys watched last week's episode 1 of season 12, but yeah, I was just, for me, I like seeing this, when things start moving and people start pitching in and things start happening. So I remember last week, I think almost the first word, there wasn't like a whole lot of clean out and organizing going on. So, we just have to kind of stick with it. So yeah, when you join the live stream, I'd love to know where you are located. We've got some, let's see, we had some Florida. We had some, I know we've got some North Carolina in the house. We had some Canada. Yeah, so Leanne says, I love seeing the beginning, the hoarded house, much more than the end. Oh, gosh. I feel like, well, I do like seeing the beginning and the end. But for me, yeah, really that favorite part is when things start happening. Yeah. Hello. Got Massachusetts in the house. So I know we've got a couple of professional organizers on here. And typically on my lives, I'm answering questions about working as a professional organizer or, getting your business off the ground. So yeah, the organizers are on here. Feel free to, chime in here and tell me what you think about, would you like to do a job like this? Or even if you're not an organizer, what do you think about working in this type of environment? I will say with this house, with Forrest and in his, in his environment, I felt like personally I kind of lucked out because this was my first episode working on Hoarders. And if you've seen the show, there is definitely a lot of squalor and a lot of critters, and there's, some things going on. So I felt very fortunate that I got to work, with Forrest and in this environment because it, it wasn't quite as intense as some of the episodes that I've seen in the past.
Within 2 weeks, I actually started seeing results.
Great. We've got a couple of Virginians in the house. We've got Michigan here. Yeah, so Joanna's saying it kind of in that environment. She says, wow, I'm paralyzed. Yeah, I think it takes a kind of special mind or mindset to go in. And, for me, it's just about breaking the project down, breaking it down into smaller pieces. So, oh, hi, Linda in New York. Great. Thanks for joining. Yeah. Yeah. So I think that's one of the, I think probably a pretty good, strong, skill set of a professional organizer or something that you can develop is to go into these, overwhelming, chaotic environments. And, you just have to start somewhere to kind of break that project down a little deeper. Okay, so we're coming back from our commercial break. Is that the first commercial break? Wow. Yeah, that was just our first commercial break. So we're back with Forrest, pictures of the house. Let's see, I bet someone's going to show up here. He's Okay, Forrest has agreed to meet with a hoarding expert in hopes of saving his home.
Zazio.
Here comes Dr. Zazio. And another thing with so the way that the show is sort of set up, this is happening, I'm guessing maybe a day or earlier before I go in. So she's going to go through, she's going to do a consultation, she's going to do a walkthrough, she's going to kind of figure out what's going on here and a bit of a plan of attack.
Trinkets, masks, artwork, clothing. There's all sorts of other stuff that's strewn about the place. I have to say, every time I walk in,
Yeah, so comment here, she is my favorite doctor in the show.
So as we look around Forrest, this house is jam-packed full of what looks like really nice stuff, valuable stuff. That being said, what percentage of stuff do you think needs to go?
Well, when I look around, I would say at a minimum 25%. Some stuff I gotta keep.
So I love this question that Dr. Zazio comes in with. What percentage of stuff do you think needs to leave the home? Yeah, so she's setting expectations. She's maybe doing a bit of a reality check, kind of checking in with him. What does he think needs to happen? And, where we're going to go from there.
We're walking up the stairs, and I notice the second floor is completely filled with clothes. You have been busy. A little bit. Let's just talk about what we see right here. We see a lot of ties and a lot of clothes. Are you actively going out looking for clothing?
So Dr. Zazio comes up and she goes, I see a lot of ties and a lot of clothes. What are you actively wearing?
We're in deep trouble. We are in very, very deep trouble because I can see that your stuff is very special to you. So I know there's more to see, but I think
and that's so much of what the doctors do, as well as the other experts on the show, is you really need to take that first day, those first consultations and just kind of get a reality check. What
my question to you, and I don't mean to be nosy or personal,
where are they thinking that, that we can get to? And I mean, we only have, you guys, like 4 or 5 days. So, what is this house going to look like in, 5 days from now?
Pay my dues, but again, when you're not in compliance, you can get fined.
Gotcha.
And so I'm being fined for not having things in order.
So we're not just looking at wanting to get your home in order. We're also looking at the association coming after you.
So a comment here, this hoarded home seems cleaner than a lot of what I normally see on the show. Reminds me that clean doesn't mean organized. Absolutely. You can actually have a clean, structurally sound home that is absolutely filled top to bottom, which of course is what we're seeing here.
Can we go take a peek?
Yes.
Okay.
We can do that.
That's a cool hat he's got.
So Forrest, this
My husband was just saying Forrest has such a cool hat. You're going to see a lot of cool hats from Forrest.
Yeah.
Like,
A lot of times I just take
he's got some style. Yeah. Lots of, you're going to see a lot of good looks over the, I didn't even see this. I don't think I saw that hat, but
it just seemed like his bedroom was a dumping ground. I'm almost wondering if he's just given up. It just does not represent who I know you are as a person.
and yeah, you kind of have to ask yourself if they have more nice things that are useful, does that make it harder to actually clear things out? And in some cases, I think it can actually be harder because, and you'll see this, when we start sorting, there's a lot of good stuff here. There's stuff that's not worn that much. There are collectibles, there's decor, there's, all of these items that, are still, it's not as squalid as some of the places you've seen. So, this isn't just a matter of a cleanup crew So So I think from the organizer's perspective, this is actually more work on us, because if the cleaning crew, if there's a lot of contamination and, there's a lot of expired food and, a lot of just, what most people would think is garbage, then the cleanup crew can actually go in and handle a lot of those items. And those items are not going to come to me as the organizer to be sorted. But when the items are, in good condition and there might be some treasures in there, then that is more work on me to do sort. Okay, so we are starting our second commercial break. Let me put up a... Let's see. Yeah, thanks you guys for putting all the comments, questions. Let me go through those while we're here in a commercial break. Okay, for Dr. Zazio, I like the way she seems to open his eyes with the most simple responses. Yeah, I mean, these first consultations, I would say that consultation day is really about, just kind of gauging where they are and where they need to go, and just kind of figuring out where that gap is in, the expectation of, what really needs to happen to make the home safe and clean, and there's those, to address any zoning violations or any issues in the neighborhood. So there's sort of that expectation. And then there's kind of the mindset of where the homeowner is. And yeah, Dr. Zazio, she's going in there and she's trying to gauge kind of, where we're going with this, and, what this cleanup is going to, look like, and where she's, kind of figuring out where he can go in the next couple of days. So we have a COVID question here. Whoops, I picked the wrong one. Okay, has COVID epidemic made being an organizer more difficult, or just another day considering how often you're wearing protective gear anyways? Yeah, I mean, and you'll see, when we start doing that cleanup, I mean, I've got a mask on, I've got long pants on in the morning. We've got rain, I've got a hat. I've always wear gloves. I'm going to wear gloves a lot on non-hoarding jobs. So, you have to be a lot safer, of course. I mean, one thing in my business that, I would do a little bit more one-on-one instead of big projects. Hoarders is an exception because it's we're kind of in a bubble together, doing the show together. But on my local jobs, I've really reduced the amount of team members and kind of the size of the group that I do jobs. So fewer people, but same level of protection. I'm used to wearing an N95 mask and all those good things. So in some ways it doesn't seem that different because I am very kind of protected. So Haley asked, does it take a special certification to organize hoarders? It seems drastically different than typical organizing jobs. So yes, there is specific training for organizers who want to work with hoarders. There is a group called the Institute for Challenging Disorganization, ICD, and you can Google that. It's a nonprofit and they have fantastic classes. So when I started my organizing business back in 2002, sorry, Google came up. When I started my business back in 2002, I got training, from them, and, helped me kind of open my eyes to, some safety issues and some other things. Okay, so we're back from our commercial break, and they said day 1 of cleanup. So let's see. Okay.
things like this.
Here comes Matt Paxton, extreme cleaning specialist. Let's see what he has to say.
Back then. But as you can see, things just took a turn for the worse when I left from college.
So was that all?
Yeah.
This is an impressive hoard. The minute you walk in, you're just overwhelmed. So it's normalized.
So Matt says this is an impressive hoard. So that's a big deal. Matt's impressed. He's seen a lot of hoarding.
Something from that just triggered him, and he just wanted to, fill the space.
You knew your dad before this, you know him now.
Yeah. I mean,
Oh yeah, here we go.
I used to say
Institute for Challenging Disorganization. Great training for professional organizers.
And I just say, you know what, something's got to be done, because my dad's definitely my hero, but even hero needs saving sometimes.
Yeah. So you're able to still.
That's a good line. Even heroes need saving sometimes.
Where a son needs to keep their dad.
Yeah, my dad, he's still very highly functional in my life.
Forrest is absolutely a hoarder. The challenge is, Forrest is also a really good dude, and his family has stopped.
Yeah, I like this. Matt Paxton always seems to go the extra mile for hoarders. It touches my heart every time, despite that he never gets, lets them belittle or insult him either. It's very inspirational.
So this was a place to, probably a cool place to hang in high school.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Oh, yeah, my friends used to come here and be amazing.
Yeah, I learned so much, working with Matt about just communication style. I'm kind of a strategist, and I like kind of the logistics of the big clear out. But it was really great kind of observing Matt's sort of style and dialogue with the family and friends as well.
People, not stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
I want to go upstairs and just kind of see what the rest of the house looks like. As AJ and I walked around the house, you see really quickly where the money's going. Most of the items have value. I don't think a lot of this is going to get thrown away. Man, this is a lot, dude. There's a lot of stuff.
A lot of stuff. And there's an attic.
Yeah, we got a book recommendation here, Buried in Treasures. That's a good one.
We got to be realistic. There's probably $500,000 worth of stuff.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Easy.
Definitely.
The real crisis here is Forrest is running out of money. And he is being fined daily by the HOA. And I sure have to use it to my advantage to get Forrest to let go of some stuff. And I think that's where I'm going to go with your dad, which is what can we sell to get him out of debt?
Yeah.
And to get him safe, and to get him back to the place where he can actually have people here.
Yes. And all of those are
So Matt too is sort of setting those expectations. He says, we want him to be safe. We, want him to get out of debt. Apparently he's been, has these fees that are piling up because of the hoard. All right, they're bringing in SteriClean. Here are our cleanup guys. Oh yeah, this was a good crew. A team of experts arrives. Who's that?
Hey.
Oh, this guy's almost here. Okay, so what they're getting into now is the morning meeting. So this seems to be pretty standard that, the first day of cleanup, when the cleanup guys are there, when the organizers are there, kind of get the whole family together and kind of have that moment of, all right, what are we doing here? My husband's laughing because I'm kind of right there. This is the first time he's seen me on the show. Oh, there's Laura. Laura in the green mask.
I brought in a colleague of mine, Brandon, right? Just because this thing is a big house, y'all. We got a lot of work to do. Right?
So Brandon is the new expert here, so he's going to be helping out on this episode as well.
Of course, we got Dr. Zaza here as well. What are your thoughts, concerns?
Forrest, let's start with the goal. Why are we here?
We're trying to get my house back. Trying to get rid of stuff.
Oh, is he emotional already?
My quality of life. I want to be able to entertain again.
Okay. And that being said, Matt and I both have our hands full because.
So they're going right to that, you know, to that motive. He wants to entertain again. And, you know, even as a professional organizer, not working with, you know, an extreme job like this, you still, even if you're just, you know, working with, you know, a non-hoarding client, that's so important to just kind of figure out that why. And that's always a good place to start, like on a consultation, is to just go there. You know, what is the why? And then when things get tough, they can, you know, kind of go back to that, like, why are we really here? All right, we're starting that cleanup with the crew working outside. Okay. So Matt's going to bring in the auctioneer to look at some of these things, and let's see what they decide to do.
A lot of stuff here. So he's not necessarily going to sell everything. Okay. We're just looking to see. The goal is for you to peek around and see what would sell, so we can educate him at the end of the day. Like, hey man, if you did want to sell this, that's what you get. Okay. Very good. There's a lot of items that I think have some value.
Darlene says, "Yeah, I see you in that white shirt."
I'm bringing in an expert that can sell everything, whether it's for $1 or it's up to a couple $1,000.
Oh, there's Carolina. Yeah, this was a really good Sarah Clean crew. They were, I mean, we had rain, we had.
Is Vista a family member?
Friend.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I know, but you scared me. Because you just automatically, you will just, well, that's my turn. I know, but it's my turn bag.
Day one is not the time to push. Vista did not get the email.
So that was actually a very good point. They're having an exchange with Vista and Forrest over, you know, or some of these things. I remember this. Oh, okay. Vista's just going to the trash. So there's always a friend or family member. I think on just about every shoot we've done, there's just that one person that's like, "You're here to just throw everything away, right?" And so Matt is managing this very well and kind of bringing it, you know, is you know, trying to bring that energy down a little bit and say, look, it's the first day. Let's just kind of figure out what we're doing here. Like, we're not just going to get everything to the dumpster. I remember this because this was literally the first time they kind of came out of the house after the organizers had started working outside sorting. Yeah.
I need Vista to be Vista tomorrow, not today. Because if I don't earn his trust now, it's going to fall apart in a couple days.
Okay, we're going into another commercial break. Yeah, that's probably something that I also learned, you know, working with Matt and kind of the flow of these sort of multi-day clear outs is that, that first day, you know, you got to just get the lay of the land. You know, you have to build trust. You have to kind of figure out, you know, you just have to take it a little bit slower. And I've noticed that really does anger a lot of friends and family members who are just like, hey, we got all these people here. Let's just put everything in the garbage. And, you know, we as the organizing team and, you know, Matt said it beautifully there. It's like, no, today is, you know, just, we're going to build some trust. We're going to figure out, you know, kind of the lay of the land and sort of go from there.
Why would I want both? Sweethearts.
Your father's
The moment they heard you have cancer, how their world stopped, and when they found a way to face it. For some, this is.
I'm looking at the comments here. Let me roll up a little bit.
A breakthrough immunotherapy that may treat certain cancers.
Great. We've got some new people joining. Hello. We are on, I feel like I've lost count. What commercial break are we on?
This is the third one.
This is only the third? Okay, this is the third commercial break. And we are in day one of cleanup. And we've had a little bit of struggle coming to the surface already, a few sparks. Yeah, a few sparks now. What do you think, Joe?
Sleepy.
He's sleepy. All right, let's pull up a comment here. Let's pull up something here. Okay. I have no idea how organizers manage to organize things into different piles for different sets of similar items because there's so many things, but it's super impressive. Yeah. I mean, I feel like one of my jobs on really the set or just any kind of large clear out is to get some things separated. And I remember very specifically that first sort of suitcase and that tub, putting things in there that it's kind of like, where do you think, you know, a toilet paper roll, some used first aid or something, you know, something that, you know, should be kind of an easy toss and sort of put those together first and kind of see where we are with that. So you're just sort of testing the waters a little bit. And then you don't want to throw anything out like too complicated, like paperwork or, you know, jewelry or high value items. You don't really want to start with that in any way. So I call this like working easy to hard. So some of those categories are just like suggested trash or things that look a little bit more obvious. And then later, I think like day 2 or day 3, I had kind of stations set up to where, okay, here's where all the keys go. Here's where the photos go. Here's where, you know, items of value, you know, jewelry, gift cards, you know, that type of thing. So yeah, I mean, you just have to kind of keep breaking it down and then setting up little kind of sorting or staging areas for the items that come out. But yeah, it goes really fast. I mean, it's, you really have to, it's like you're thinking about things and it's also a workout, you know, at the same time. So you're physically moving around and setting up different categories and then getting the whole team on board to know like, okay, this goes there. All right, I got a box, all the keys go in this box, get all the photos over there. So, you know, it works really well when you can communicate with a big team and then kind of have everyone on board to setting up those different stations. Oh, there I am carrying.
It's great.
It's a good
Action
sort
shot.
of that back from commercial break 3. Nice action shot of me carrying a laundry bin across. Oh, good. I mean, I love that laundry bin. Moving that around. Yeah.
This is the concern. We are sorting through clothes that you probably haven't looked at in years, if I had to guess.
No, these clothes, somehow I didn't get it back into the house. We can't just recklessly just throw things away and I don't know about it. I mean, that's what's happening right now. So you trying to say you don't know? I be able to trust y'all, but then you literally just like $2. I did, but nothing went in the dumpster without your permission. You're making that on that.
So AJ is the son and Vista is a friend.
Now you gotta respect our opinions too, man. Now we got stuff here that
And yeah, he's with kind of that. You can see the organizers are kind of running around the rest of the yard. We're just trying to make sense of the things that are coming out. And he's working with Dr. Zazio in this, you know, kind of these first tubs that he was looking at.
So Forrest, I'm going to point out the obvious, but this is what happens when you're not able to have enough room for your stuff. It gets damaged.
yeah, but This one I keep.
I have great concern with how much he's keeping right now. We have a lot of stuff outside the driveway. He's keeping
It's
way too
Carolina.
much.
Look, you see that? It's only $2. I'll give you $2.
Oh,
Mm.
So I've got the organizers pulling everything out, and they're just sorting for clothes, for hats, for shoes, and for paper. And I need Forrest to be able to look at the piles and know that we're actually doing what he asked. Because what I need to do is earn Forrest's trust.
I got to keep that. This one.
All right, so let's start a keep box.
Keep.
So what we're doing right now, and I think this,
Don't you get stuck?
So,
Very good.
yeah, day one, we're just looking at
Don't match anything there.
kind of random stuff, which, you know, sometimes when you're starting out, it kind of ends up that way.
So I'm watching Forrest, and he's definitely letting go of a lot.
I know that, well, you'll see, it gets a lot more focused, but right now it's just, you can see we're just kind of, also it just rained, by the way, it like poured rain on this day. So, you know, we were all kind of close under these tents.
Not challenging himself, and I don't think he realizes no matter what.
Yeah, because I mean, we're looking at Christmas, we're looking at clothing, we're looking at,
No place to put it.
you know, it's just, it's a little too,
Come on, AJ. You're trying to pay it off, right?
it's a little random right now for me, but it's also doing that thing that I think Matt and Dr. Zazia really need to understand right now is kind of where is he at with his decision making.
But that's what we're talking about. That if you keep too much stuff, it's going to mess up your good stuff. You know what I mean? What? How many clocks do you need? One of the things that frustrated me most that he was keeping were his clocks. What does this go with? Just that.
There are a lot of clocks.
There's pairs on that. He literally has
So you can tell we're just looking at,
why he wants to keep
you know,
the clocks.
collectibles and different little things. They're talking about the clocks right now. Here comes Matt.
That clock's trash. There you go.
This one.
That right there.
What's wrong with you?
It's just nothing valuable about it. It'll fall, it'll break. It's got no battery.
Don't break something that Thomas Kincaid clock that you got. This is not special. You can't keep all these stuff because it breaks your other stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Look at me there trying not to look at the camera. Did you see me not try? I am not looking at the camera. I am not looking at the camera. Yeah, we're just kind of all right there on top of each other right now. So this is just,
you're always busy.
oh yeah, always moving.
Oh no.
Huh.
So what do you find in there?
Looking for some big ticket items, and to be honest, I don't see very many of them. And the ones that we do find, it seems like he wants to keep.
So just to put in perspective, I asked you to find 20 items that you could sell for a lot of money. And are you able to do that?
I don't believe so. There's a ton of low dollar items, $5, $10, $20 items. It'll all add up, but at the end of the day, I'm not confident that we'll find the big ticket ones.
We only have a couple days here. If I spend 3 days.
So Matt is having a conversation with that auctioneer, and the news is not good.
I thought we'd sell some things to make that go away. That's not the case anymore. So the best option we have is get this house clean, back in shape, fix all the things.
Yeah, so my heart aches for this family, seeing the reality versus the fantasy of the family member is holding onto. Yeah. You just want to make them happy, but safe is better. Yeah, I do feel like there is this kind of constant struggle, and I think Matt does a really good job of, you know, trying to balance. It seems like it's, you know, it's certainly causing them stress to get rid of things, but you know, when you look at the result of, you know, this could be your home again, you could entertain again, you know, you're not going to trip over things, you know, this is what a clear, beautiful house would look like.
because I could
you know,
actually
this is really important because it kind of brings him back to that, you know, this is why we're doing this, is to have these, you know, to be able to entertain again, to, you know, have Thanksgiving again, to have your family over.
Mike walked around, right? He saw everything around the house. He said most of it's decorative. He said a lot of it's worth $20 bucks. Almost every little item is worth probably 25 bucks. Problem is, to sell that, you got to have kind of a yard sale or a picker sale. He said no one's going to take 1,000.
You're a brave babe, a true inspiration. Thank you.
For 2,000, 3,000. He agreed. They were your nicest pieces. But those are the pieces you want to keep.
Yeah, I think
I'm not saying you got to sell them.
growing up in the country made me kind of tough because I'm, you know,
I'm sure this is obvious, but all the stuff that was in here is now out on your lawn, right? And there's no place in this house to put all that stuff.
So what are you feeling right now?
Well, I'm good. I'm good. There's a few items there I know I'm going to keep.
You know, we can keep a few items on these tables, but the majority of the items, 50% or more, need to either be donated, sold, or thrown away. Because it's just not going to, there's no space for it back here to have this space like this.
yeah, as you guys can tell, I'm out in the yard, like going around. So I never get to hear some of these conversations that, you know, Matt and Dr. Zazio have with Forrest, because I'm out, you know, in the yard moving things around and doing all that. So this is a really good strategy. They've kind of revealed this, you know, this nice, beautiful room of, you know, how it could be, that dining room, which is that first room when you come in. And yeah, kind of had a reality check of like, hey, this is what it could be. But the things outside, the things in the yard are not coming back in. What do you think about that? So that's a really good strategy to, you know, kind of show them the possibility and then sort of see where they are.
We are all related. We are all connected. The two-legged, the four-legged, the winged, Mother Earth. It encompasses everybody.
Okay, so commercial break 4.
Is something that is really valuable right now.
Oh, I got a little sleepy puppy here.
Thinking of individualism has gotten us to this point.
Okay, guys. So are you guys super fans of the show, or are you all, I have to admit, and I was kind of saying, I think in some of my emails and social media posts that I was doing today, I have not watched every episode of Hoarders. I've actually been watching a few more recently, just because now I know some of the people who, you know, film the show and produce the show, and you know, some of the creative sides of the show. So I went back and watched last season of the show, but some of those episodes in the beginning are just kind of a little too much for me. But yeah, I think even if I wasn't on this one in particular, I would enjoy watching it, because I don't know. Forrest is, you know, he's a little different. He's, you know, I guess I felt from the beginning, from that first meeting, that he would, you know, that he would be pretty positive to work with. So we will see.
Use my credit card points to finally go on tour again.
Learn about 529 to save my son.
All right, so we've got Superfan, watches every episode over and over. Yes, I do not have. I may end up having this episode memorized, because I will be playing it, you know, for watching with my parents and some other folks as well.
For all your money questions, turn to the nerds. How do you tell the perfect cup of Dunkin' Cold?
Yeah, I can only take so much. My heart breaks for people. Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely more satisfying to me when, you know, when there is that progress. And yeah, I think it's going to be a little easier for me to watch, because I've worked on so many episodes now. It's going to be a little easier for me to watch the episodes that I know have a little bit more of a positive outcome. And, you know, that's not the case with all of the episodes in this season. So that'll be interesting to watch some of the episodes that are, you know, a little more challenging. Yeah, so I had a question come up actually from someone I was speaking with locally the other day, and they said, "Is this real? Like, is Hoarders real? You know, do they stage this? Do they bring things in?" And absolutely not. I mean, I've seen absolutely no evidence of that. If anything, there's actually things. I think, you know, there's more hoarded spaces and more, you know, volume of things that just can't even make it to the show. You know, sometimes people have storage units, they have other spaces. You know, there's other areas in the yard, you know, that just don't even get filmed. So on the contrary, it's actually, I would say it's probably more volume than what they're able to show, you know, in the episodes.
Let's do certain.
Yeah, certainly is better.
Pretty sure isn't sure enough. When you need to be certain about how much home you can afford, Rocket can.
All right, we're coming back here from our break. If you are watching this live or on the replay with me. Yeah. Rain. Yeah. We definitely encountered a lot of rain on this shoot.
Turn it up. This neighborhood is tired of all of this.
Laura's, oh, there I am. It's like Laura's right in front of me.
So we must fix that today. Beginning of day 2, and I'm really nervous because although Forrest did a really good job yesterday, we just didn't.
I probably should have just worn my t-shirt and my mask and my hat so you guys could recognize me, because I'm looking at this and I'm like, looking very different right now.
That's the only place it can go. I haven't been in it yet. I wasn't able to access it. If it looks anything like the rest of the house, it's full. Like, all the way full.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so the plan, they are... We got a problem. Yeah. They are showing the garage. And I think Matt had kind of a morning plan of, okay, we're going to, you know, clear out this garage, and this is going to be, you know, a space for things. So Brandon and Matt are checking out this garage going, oh my gosh, what are we going to do here?
All right, let's go on that theme. You challenged him to do what?
Not to keep anything today.
Okay.
Everything got to be donated or sold. Okay. You know, stuff's being kept in the garage outside. Obviously, he hasn't seen it in years.
Let's go look at it real quick, and then we can make a decision. Is that cool?
Yeah. The decision to let stuff go.
So Forrest.
So AJ, his son, is saying, yeah, let's go ahead and let some things go. So this is our next day. So let's see what Forrest has to say about that.
When you can't get to it, I want you to think about that and help us understand.
Well, there's no logic to that. I mean, it's, if you can't get to it, it's just here. So a lot of the items within this garage we need to dispose of or reposition it.
Yeah, here's my concern. Mathematically, I've run out of space.
I mean, looking at this garage, it's actually pretty impressive how things are crammed in there. You know, sometimes it's like, how do people get things so layered?
You're really focused on the stuff.
Yeah, it's impressive that stuff that just come falling out once the door opened up.
Yeah, that it even, I don't know if it was put in from the front or from the back, but...
Have your family over. AJ wants to come and stay with you.
I want to bring my friends here. I want to bring my kids here when I start having kids.
Yeah.
You already know I hit you with that. They're not coming to this house. They can't.
So they're kind of pulling back to, why are we doing this? And, you know, we're talking about bringing, you know, can the family visit? Can the family, you know, really enjoy the space? So, you know, that's going to be a strategy, you know, in with a lot of this, you know, type of clear out is the why, and then kind of bringing back to the why. Now, if you've seen other episodes of Hoarders, it doesn't always work, but it's certainly a strategy to, you know, to kind of keep bringing their focus back to, you know, why are we here? What's, you know, kind of the end game here.
What are we going to do with this?
So they're using a,
So,
what am I doing there? Just like, okay, so they're doing this sort of strategy here where Forrest is sitting there and the cleanup crew is bringing things by. And this is actually a fairly quick decluttering strategy if you have the manpower or woman power to do it, where, they're having things brought by and they're allowed to keep a few treasures. Of course, Dr. Zazia is going to, kind of keep him in check and see where his logic is.
AJ, Curtis, and Vista are all encouraging Forrest.
if it's not worth it's trash.
And AJ says he's going to push his dad because he wants everything to go.
So you've got the cleanup crew pulling items out of the garage kind of one by one. And then you can see the organizers like myself in the back. I'm kind of looking for the things that he's going to keep because I think I'm pulling those and sort of storing them in a separate area. So you can see the organizers, me and Carolina, we keep kind of looking over like, okay, what are we keeping? What, because if they say keep, we got to sort of figure out where that's going to be stored at the moment. So for us, if they're saying trash and it goes away, we don't really have to worry about that too much. But if they say keep or donate or, stage it, then we have to grab it and take it to another space. By the way, those pants, I had to throw them away. Not because of this, but on another job. The pants that I'm wearing in this scene are no longer with me.
You miss those pants?
I do miss those pants. They're lightweight. But, oh look, here I am with the trash bag. I'm just going to stand here with the trash bag and see what happens.
So you didn't buy stuff from me while you came.
Bye.
Okay, so hang on. What I hear you saying,
Come on.
Forrest, is that
Up. Let's just sit up there, I think.
Okay, come on.
Sorry, we're trying to get Joe settled. Where do you want to be? Come on. Up. I know.
Good boy.
Okay, going up to your spot there. Okay, come over here. Where are you? He's over. Okay, so we just had a bit of an explosive moment there with AJ and Forrest. And yeah, gonna kind of see where things go from there. All right, how are you guys doing? Yeah, I mean, I think one thing I learned from being on the show that I really didn't, when you're just watching the show, you're like, okay, are they doing this for TV? Is this, do people really care? Like, what's their intention? What are their motives? But yeah, I can say actually, being on set, being with the experts, with the doctors, I was actually really impressed how hard everyone is working to, because, there's a couple of parts of this. There's the cleanup, which is, let's clear things out. Let's clear out the clutter. Let's make things safe. Let's take away things that are contaminated. You have all of those pieces going on. But at the end of the day, it's really about that mental shift, because I know for sure, and you guys that are have done some organizing that are here on the chat, that when things get cleared out, if there's not a shift in the the homeowner's behavior, if they're still going to go shopping, if they're still going to bring things in and go to yard sales and pile things up, you could clear that house out and it could be very much back into a hoarded state very quickly. So I was really impressed with Dr. Zazia and the other mental health professionals on the show, because they are really trying to get that mental shift. So I think it's it's easier sometimes for the organizer or the cleanup people or even the family members to think, okay, let's just throw it away. It's all about clearing things out, and we all want to move really quickly. But it's also very important for that mind shift, for that mental shift of that state of mind, because that is really where, the real change will come. Of course, we also have to address the safety issues. We have to address the financial issues. Often people are getting charged for zoning violations. So there's actually this financial burden on top of all of those things. So, yeah. Okay, here's a good comment. Dang, that got heated fast. Did that make you anxious? I have to say, often I am so focused on like my sorting and my categories and where this is going and where that's going. There was a heated moment that it may have been just the one that we just saw. I actually did not even register it. So, sometimes I'm kind of in, my own little space. But yeah, they are probably going to have a few moments here where they, address that. And, often in those moments, that's where the real breakthrough comes through. So even if I'm going to, clear out and give the family some time and stop whatever I was working on, at the end of the day, you kind of need those moments in order to kind of push through that change. So, okay, we're coming back from commercial break number.
There's a 5 or 6, can't remember now.
Yeah. Well, what's happening now? They're showing AJ, and we just had a bit of a blowout as they went into the commercial break. So let's see how they're going to address that.
We're going to have to really figure out how this is going to happen.
We're going to negotiate.
I don't think he's going to let go of anything.
Yeah, Haley asked, I wonder how long the mental shift lasts. Yeah, great question. Yeah.
What he just did was disrespectful as far as I'm concerned. I don't care if you want to show him right there.
Yeah, I can tell you on this blow up, I think I just kind of kept working and of course, Dr. Zazia is going to talk to the family.
For no reason. He's messed up.
I have to suspect that his tension is pretty high because he's worried about you.
Don't let that get to you.
No, because this is the last time. This is our last opportunity. He knows that.
Calm down, okay?
I heard what he said, by the way. There was a punk move on his part, and I won't forget that. Because what he said to me was very hurtful, and I'm not going to stand for it, okay?
The thing I'm trying to get AJ to understand is
This guy had a lot of heart, Curtis. Yeah. I mean, these friends who come and give up their entire week to come and help their, help people out. It's really incredible.
we can't leave it like this. We got to fix this, man, so we can get this done.
I'd like to ask that we can just take some time, let things simmer down, and not send him away. We really need him, and you need him. I know you didn't need that. I think there's something much deeper going on, and I think that AJ's been holding a lot of that in. I'm really concerned because AJ is a really important part of this process, and we've got to try to get them back together again.
If God called you or AJ home tonight, somebody's going to be unhappy, and they're going to regret it the rest of their life.
That's what sometimes we deal with, baby. Sometimes that's how.
Is it worth it? That's your only blood child.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I'm sorry. What I said when I walked away, I shouldn't have said that.
What you said? I know I ain't speaking on behalf, but I'm still dealing with that. You know what I mean? I know you.
Hug and love each other. Tell them you love them. Don't y'all love each other?
I love you, Dad. I'm sorry.
Tell them, Forrest.
I love you too.
I'm sorry, man. Stop. No, I'm sorry. And you know the only reason that happened is because
Don't even go there. Come on, Curtis. Let's do group hug.
Vista, group hug. I don't know, Vista.
I'm sorry. Okay. All right. Okay.
I don't know.
Even though AJ and Forrest hugged it out and said that everything was okay, I can tell it's not. I could see the tension.
Mm-hmm.
Is there something you want to say to AJ?
No.
AJ, do you feel
Yeah, so Dr. Zazi was saying, you know, they're going through these motions, but is everything okay? So she's
for everything to be put to rest, but
pretty intuitive there.
you know, with the different stresses maybe this house has put on him and us, that hasn't really allowed us to fix other things.
in any family, it can be very difficult to express yourself when there's hurt and pain. And that's what that was just all about. You both were angry, but it's because you're hurting inside. What do you think, Forrest?
We got some.
Oh, I love these guys.
That's all I can say.
We'll leave it at that. Okay.
Today is make or break. I was going into today, making sure we drew a line. We did have a little disagreement. I knew it was going to happen at some point. Me and him were both passionate people, but we were able to get past that. It's time to get to work.
Father, son, man, I get it. This family, they let each other have it, and then they tell each other they love each other, they hug it out, and they're back to work. It's pretty awesome. So we
Yeah.
just keep going. Is that cool?
Yes.
You want 5 minutes, or we just keep bringing stuff by?
No, just keep it going.
Okay. Guys, let's just keep hustling in the garage.
Yeah, Matt was just saying, you know, they put it out there, and AJ was saying they're both very passionate, and then they're like, okay, let's hug it out and get back to work. So, yeah. Vista's happy.
She wants to throw stuff away.
Vista loves. There's always that joy that people experience from. Here comes another dumpster. Gosh, that garage.
Wow.
A lot of vacuum cleaners.
What's that?
A lot of vacuum cleaners.
So,
Here comes the rain too, guys. Oh my gosh, that rain.
He's letting you trash it, he's letting you sell it, he's letting you donate it. But Forrest is still a hoarder.
Yeah, I mean, I think as far as the, you know, longevity, you know, I think it depends on the support that they're getting afterwards. I think,
keep this. These are trash bags. I use these for trash bags. So you want to keep the trash bags?
and you know how much mental help they get, how much you know, other kind of support they get, and
The team focused on the totes in the driveway.
God, look at all that water.
Watch out, guys.
See, all these totes are out in the driveway. Yeah, it was just like and those are not weatherproof locking totes. They don't have the gaskets. Like, I mean, yeah, it's just getting ruined.
Good. Stay.
Forrest likes shoes, man. The dude is a shoe hoarder.
So what percentage of this stuff do you think is keep? Oh, these totes here? Of all of this? Oh, wow. What percentage? At least 51% of this. Okay. So we go into it, we're not going anywhere because he's not getting rid of enough stuff to make sense to even touch it at this point.
Right now,
Yeah, so there it is, the shift into full course cleaning and organizing. Amazing, beautiful, inspirational. Makes me have so much hope and good vibes for Mr. Forrest here. Yeah, I mean, if you watch these shows, and it's certainly something that I've seen, you know, working on, it's this journey, you know, it is. There's some mold.
Mm.
Yeah, leather and rain in plastic bins do not mix. That's some intense mold. Makes me happy we're working outside with masks on. Yeah, so I mean, the rest of us are just, you know, we're vacuum cleaners. Yeah, we're just kind of busy little bees. You know, I mean, the clean out crew, the organizers, like, you know, we're very focused on, you know, the task at hand and the processing. And I remember, I don't know if it was this day or the next day that my goal was like, find the car titles, you know, so I'm kind of looking through and finding those specific items. Okay, we are on our next commercial break. So we've seen the rain, we've seen the hot sun, we've seen the moldy shoes, we've seen a couple of dumpsters go, and yeah, just so much rain, so much water in those bins, and but yeah, I mean, there's a bit of a flow that I've seen, with the shows that I've worked on, is you sort of have that consultation in the beginning, just check in, where are we, what's going on, and then that first day or those first few hours of the clean out are let's look at let's test this out. What would it feel like to just get rid of everything? What would it look only got rid of 25%? Is that going to meet the goal of getting the house clean, getting the house safe, meeting that expectation, like in this one, that bigger why of having people over to the house. Okay, here's the ultimate question by Maureen. Do they ever slip things out without a hoarder's knowledge? Okay, so Maureen, I can only speak for myself that I feel like I'm the one who's like, no, let's keep that. I get permission and buy-in on everything. I don't know if you watched last week's episode with Dorothy and Dr. Zazio, when that sofa made it into the dumpster and then the hoarder came out. So I believe the way they explained that and kind of what happened, that wasn't a Dorothy decision, probably not an organizer decision. It was like maybe a family member giving permission to the cleanup crew. So I think what can happen is you have family members there, you have a cleanup crew there, you have kind of lots of people. Speaking me personally, I am very, very aware of getting permission and staging things out, and then getting permission to throw things out. So I can't say it doesn't happen, but I am extremely mindful of it, because we did see that happen in last week's episode with that beautiful orange sofa. And if you watch that episode, I think, and I wasn't there on that episode, but what I could tell as a viewer is it went into the dumpster, like a family member gave permission, and then it made it back out, and I believe it was in the final reveal. So you'll have to watch that episode, but I think that's what happened. And so the homeowner came out and he was like, what are you doing? I didn't give permission for that sofa to go into the trash. And then they kind of worked through it. So I am very aware of it because I've been working with people for so long. I think it's just easier to get that buy-in. And you kind of have to gauge where that person is. Now, as we get into, we're on a commercial break still right now, but as we get into the next day, I don't know if they're going to show if it's our day 3. What can happen at day 3 is the homeowner can start to trust friends and family members to make decisions for them. So at that point, and this has happened many times where I know that, a sister or a friend is going to actually, the homeowner has given permission to that person to make some executive decisions. So once you get to that point, those other people are making some decisions. So I might be working with the family member or the friend to throw things away with the homeowner's permission. Okay, so we're getting set back up.
Forrest has got to just basically let us do as much as we can today. We've done a really good job.
Yeah.
Keep a lot of stuff, but that's been the problem. We've kept too much still, and I've got to get this house in.
Gosh, look how close we are. We're just trying to stay out of the rain under those tents. It's a good sized yard, but we're going through papers. We're trying to protect things coming out of the house, the clothing, the shoes, things that are still in good condition. But there's a lot of stuff and not a lot of space. Yeah, so I think Matt's having a bit of a reality check with him because we actually have saved a lot of things. That's what's going in those U boxes, the U-Haul boxes. When he was going through and saying keep, those were being stored. So,
and the U-Hauls are only going to be there as long as the crew's there, right?
Yeah. So those big orange boxes from U-Haul, the storage, the sort of on-site storage units, those in this episode go at the end of the show. So that isn't his storage. That's storage that's been brought on, by the production, and it's just temporary while we're working.
We start to sort, and I'm not feeling hopeful at all. He loves these clothes. They're all unique and special to him, and I'm thinking he's probably going to hold on to about 95% of them.
Maureen says, "Oh, the shoes. Yes. Yes. And you guys, I can tell you because I've kind of been up and down other parts, you're not even seeing all the clothes and shoes. I'm not sure if they can even, show all of that in different parts and pieces, but yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of clothing. Okay, while Forrest is making progress, Matt comes up with a plan for the rest of the house. Oh, there's Laura, Steve, Brandon. Okay. See, I didn't see a lot of this in the house stuff because I was outside. I feel like I do go in the house. I know I go in the house at some point, but I guess it's just not quite yet. I'm still outside. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I kind of lived out in those tents.
Let's start going through some of this stuff, and let's just start here.
There you are.
Because this looks like.
So let me get my box ready. Something broken.
I don't think this is broken. I really don't.
When this came out, was it broken? Yeah. Nothing broke out here.
Oh, that's me.
You're talking.
I'm kind of surprised you can hear me.
We just toss things in here that it's going to break. I mean, this stuff just don't break.
Yeah.
Automatically, this stuff breaks because when we toss it quickly, we remove it.
Oh.
We break it. They're saying that it was broken.
I'm actually surprised you could hear me. Yeah, I'm going over those broken items. But yeah, they were coming out like that. Yeah.
Forrest is doing something that a lot of hoarders do. He's losing control of the house because we're throwing everything away, and so they start to control what's broken now.
What happened here? What is that Asian? That should have been a case. How did that? Perfect example. That was it. Case. This Asian thing, I saw it yesterday. Now look at it now.
Forrest, I've been working with these crews for 13 years, and I know the way they work, and they are loyal, honest people. And if they break something, they always let the homeowner know. And I just went in, I talked with Brandon and his crew, and they have assured me that all the stuff that came out that was broken, found broken.
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying, but I also want to tell you.
Yeah, it's tough. This is, when we're addressing all the broken and damaged items that are coming out of the house. And yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate. I mean, when things kind of get stacked and, in the house and obviously hoarded, it's, there's a much greater chance of things, breaking. So, yeah.
And it's broken. But let's take a look at it. I'm going to show you.
Yeah.
I know you weren't inside, but you don't think that they were putting stuff in the bins, they were pulling stuff out that were already in bins, or do you know?
I don't know, because inside the house there's stuff in bins, and then there's stuff, then they're putting things in bins to move it.
Okay.
So, you know, but I mean, this house is so filled with beautiful and fragile items, you guys. I mean, it's tough. Yeah.
I swear to God, on my mom's death, this was not broke.
Oh, see, I didn't see the lamp.
It's broke now.
Yeah.
I don't know if it can be saved or not, but I'm telling you, there's certain things I'm aware of that potentially could have been broke, whatever. But this is one thing that I'm 110% sure that this got knocked over and put these things on.
Forrest, can I show you something?
Let's see how Brandon handles this.
These are all tangled within one another. No one would have adjusted these and tangled these up like that.
I'm telling you that this
So I'm also just so grateful to have, you know, and those, you know, I mean, Dr. Zazio and, you know, the other professionals, the other doctors, like, I mean, they are there, you know, they are there day in and day out. I think I didn't really understand that when I started watching the show. I didn't know, you know, how much they were a part of it, you know, if they kind of came and went and had days that they weren't there. But I mean, they are in the thick of it. And it's just, you know, it certainly makes what I do easier to, you know, to have someone there to kind of support the, you know, the emotions that are going on.
Well, I didn't personally do it. I went to the kitchen. Forrest, boom, and I threw it. I mean, it just, we were over here walking. I was trying to get into that room, but yeah, it wasn't these two.
All right, so Matt's stepping up here, and all right, well, see, I didn't see that. I was still outside, but
Forrest is a new man after this experience. No, I think he's a dude that likes a lot of stuff.
Matt, that's the thing with Matt. He's just, he kind of tells it like it is. Commercial. Yeah, so we just kind of got through that scene with the, you know, when I was outside with that broken doll, and then they went in and saw the, you know, the broken lamp and lamp fixture. And yeah, I mean, it's sad, you know, that those things happen, but you know, it is kind of part of the process to get those things moved around. Yeah, we got here we go. Oh my God, Matt, you touched my heart every time, bro. Yeah, I mean, Matt can just diffuse those situations, you know, so it's pretty amazing. Okay, so a question here. What is the highest biologically dangerous situation you've ever had to be a part of and organize? Well, you know, this question, when you're watching these homes and you're watching the things in the home, you have to understand that usually the higher level of contamination of things in the home, the less likely it is that I am going to be sorting through it. So, you know, part of my job is to find important things and, you know, the keys, the card titles, the treasure. So I'm going to be sorting through those things and trying to save, you know, the wedding album, the family photos. So those are the things I'm really, you know, kind of keeping my eye out for. If there is a high level of contamination, it's most likely going to be addressed by, in this case, SteriClean or the cleanup crew, and it may not even really make it across my sorting station, because if there's so much contamination, it may need to go directly into the dumpster. And of course, there would be some conversation, you know, with the homeowner about that. So for me, I'm just kind of seeing your typical, you know, a lot of mice droppings, you know, that type of thing. Because often I'm only getting things that can be, you know, salvaged and sorted through. So I'm very happy to have a SteriClean team there, or, you know, whatever cleanup crew, because they go in a little deeper than I do. But so for me, it's a lot of just kind of like the mice stuff. And if I'm doing a home, outside of the show, I'm going to go in and evaluate that space and see if it is safe for me to go into based on structural damage and, other contaminants. And actually, I did a video on my YouTube channel about, I think it was called Should Professional Organizers Work with Hoarders? And in that, I kind of gave my list of like jobs that I would not be a part of. And luckily where I live here, we do have those bio teams that will go in and kind of deal with anything that has a high contaminant. We also have mold remediation companies. So I've been on jobs before where really the mold had to be dealt with by the remediation company before it was even safe for me to work in. So for me, I'm going to do that consultation. I'm going to evaluate the space, and then it's quite possible based on that level of contamination that someone else has to go in there first and kind of remove that before I can really work. So, so yeah, those cleanup crews really kind of take a bullet there.
Believe Indigenous women are the future of this world.
For more voices impacting our culture and their communities, visit aetv.com/.
Oh, hi, Sherry. She says, this is very helpful to get the discussion commentary along with the show. Well, thank you so much. This is like a totally new thing that that I'm doing. So we'll see how it goes. If you guys like this, we'll do it again. Okay, we're back from a commercial break. Matt is saying we have flat out run out of space. And look at me scrambling around there going, where's this? I remember, I don't know if this is the afternoon. Oh gosh, and it's so hard when, look at all these collectibles. I mean, the glass items, we were talking about contamination and all of these things. It's actually, oh, did Forrest say it looks nice in the garage? They're going into that garage. I did not organize that garage. I know who did. It was one of the cleanup crews, but he packed stuff in there. Yeah. So again, they're taking him into these sort of after, they're kind of testing him out with some after spaces to just kind of see like, hey, this is where we could go if you go along this journey a little harder with us. What was I doing there?
Peace sign.
Was there anything on this end of the table that looked like treasure?
Oh.
Did you look in that leather case?
Oh, I remember.
Garbage. All right. Really good.
I remember this scene very.
Fantastic. Forrest has had some really interesting transformations during this process. He said.
Yeah, I remember this scene where Forrest comes out because by this time in the process, I was actually able to set up tables and tents and get things sorted out where I could just walk through and say, hey, what do you think about this?
All right, the items that we removed, I'm not coming back in the house. I'm going to repeat that. So what I'm doing is moving in that direction so my house will be freed up. I'm not going to bring it back into it.
So that was, I thought he made mentally he was on board with what we were doing at that point.
Take it all out. Put it on my trailer. I'm going to let my friends sell it at the flea market.
Oh.
Let's go do the trailer.
All right, we move it. Let's go.
Let's go.
It's weird. I don't even remember being in the house.
No,
I remember being outside. I remember being outside like the whole time. Yeah.
Claims from 3 years ago. Items that was at the yard sale.
The Forrest has an idea. He knows what he's going to do. So a trailer that yesterday I wasn't allowed to touch. Today I was able to open it up, take
So much water.
So much water on this stuff, guys. Oh, and the bins are open. Ooh. I'm sure that, and we're out in the driveway, going through the trailer. Yeah, I remember that trailer. Yeah, it just, everything got destroyed. Yeah.
You name it, I found it on this trailer.
Yeah. The stuff out in this trailer that
And then I found
he had, I
about 2 inches around. Look at the eyes on that.
snake
Oh, boy.
skin. Oh, I didn't see that.
This was not your pet snake.
I saw an actual. What do you say? Is not
Is that
your
your pet snake?
It's not your pet snake.
Run away.
Yeah, there were a few snakes on this one.
He let me throw away almost everything on the trailer.
I saw a little snake, just a little baby one, not serious.
All day, I don't care what we were talking about. Garage, upstairs, downstairs, wherever we were, we're moving stuff from here, moving it to there.
Yeah. See, they're packing that trailer back up with items to sell, you know, flea market type stuff.
But let me assure you, Forrest is still going to be a hoarder.
Oh.
We'll be here next week.
Yeah. So Matt's not feeling too optimistic at this point.
One of the violations is that
Now Matt's now going up to that attic.
get the AC fixed. I've got to clean out the entire attic. And the
I never saw this attic. I was out. Well, I saw the stuff coming out of the attic, but I was in the yard.
like the rest of the house, the attic
But I never attic.
keeps punching us in the face.
Yeah.
It's going to all have to go.
Yep.
This. Good news is everything in the attic is compromised with mouse poop.
Hmm.
None of it can be saved. And I'm going to have to go talk to Forrest and just let him know, hey man, I'm throwing everything away in the attic. All right, Forrest.
All right, let's see how Matt's coming down to tell Forrest he's storing everything away. Let's see how this conversation goes.
An opportunity to get some real help tomorrow for you. Things bigger than just cleaning up. But in order to do that, I got to have an empty attic by tonight, I believe.
Well, and this is another thing that I don't know if they always. I wasn't really aware of that much when watching the show, but they do a lot to help these homes. I mean, he's talking about the air conditioning unit coming in. I know they've done plumbing repairs, that type of thing. So, yeah, I mean, it's so nice when we can do the clear out, and then that actually means improving the quality of life with some of these other items that. Yeah, here comes everything from that attic. Okay, they're doing a train. SteriClean's doing a train. I love a good train. That's when you have a person in the top of the attic and then you just have people spaced out. Whenever I'm working with a cleanup crew and they're not doing that, I get a little impatient. I'm like, come on guys, train it out. Let's space out here. Assembly line. 10,000 pounds of trash. And yeah, still a lot to do.
We got to finish upstairs while we close a bunch of bedrooms, and I got to get the rest of the stuff out of the cars and 2 cars out of the drop. Tomorrow's the last day. I'm running out of time.
More rain. Oh, the rain. Okay. Do you also get to set the home after the cleaning and organizer, perhaps at least see it yourself? Oh, we're going into another commercial break. Okay, I don't want to spoil things too much, but very soon I have actually walked through that home. I took my shoes off. It was so clean. So, so we will, we'll see. Yeah. But yeah, so a cleaning crew, that's next week. Yeah, the cleaning crew for Forrest is going to come in, last day, and we'll see. We'll see how clean it gets. He said, I don't want to spoil anything for you guys, but I'm actually kind of getting excited at this point because I know there's a reveal coming up. Yeah, as far as staging the home, and sometimes we are able to hang pictures, get put on new bedding. Sometimes we are able to do that. I can't say all the time. It really depends on how far along the hoarder gets in the process. So obviously the more clearing they do, the more clearing out, then the more able we are to do with, getting things set up like a new mattress or that type of thing. So it's always exciting when we can do those little extra touches that make the house very livable, but doesn't always happen. So it's kind of a case by case.
I can't wait to go salsa dancing.
No. I can't wait for you to meet my mom. Go to the gym. Spin class. Dance on stage.
Play my piano for my friends.
Just hug your
Okay, so wow, they really do so much more than we get to see. I always thought so, but knowing is just amazing. I love the show more. Yeah, I
With every vaccine, CBS is working to
yeah,
bring one step closer to a better
I really hope, and of course I have privileged information about how the rest of the season goes since I saw a lot of it firsthand. But yeah, I mean that's sort of how I feel about it. Like, but I mean, you just never know. You don't know where the mindset is. You don't know how much they're going to allow other people to do, if they're going to trust the organizers and delegate, things to them, or if they're going to trust the family member to make decisions on their behalf, because that's really where a lot of the big kind of space clearing will take place, is if they start trusting that team around them, including their own family, which of course is not always easy. But yeah, you still have that mind shift that has to change with the person themselves. Otherwise, of course, it can, and I'm sure often does, go back to being, not in an ideal condition, their house. But I don't know. It makes me feel good to know that people are sleeping in clear beds, that they're, getting heating and cooling systems, that they're getting, that their house is going to be safe, in those ways. So, yeah, maybe it'll go back, maybe it won't, but you just have to do what you can do and provide as livable and a safe condition, safe setup of a house as people will allow you to do. And if they will allow, and, as the more that they allow for the clear out to happen, the safer and I think more livable their space will become. Okay, we're coming back from commercial break. Okay, so we're on the last day of cleanup. So I just saw Laura and Carolina, but I don't know what room they're in. Oh, yeah, they're doing the upstairs. Clothing, guys. Yeah, so tow trucks are coming to take the vehicles out. So, yeah, the cleanup guys go right for those cars. And yeah, here we go. So the organizers go into the kitchen because we've got the cleanup, the maids coming, the housekeepers, house cleaners, and a lot's happening. Man, a lot gets packed into this final day. Yeah, they're putting in the new heating and cooling system. Gotta get that bed. Get that bed cleared. Okay. That kitchen, I will tell you, I do not like opening refrigerators. So thank you, Laura, for taking one for the team and going in the refrigerator. That is one area I do like to avoid at all costs. It's opening a refrigerator. I don't know what. Mm-mm. Okay, here we go. We're going to talk more about those cars.
The cars are the violations. So we need to get them out. We got a guy that'll come and he'll give us, it's only $125 a van, but with no papers and no keys. That's the best rate I could get.
That one, I have no problem with that. This one here, though, I got the key somewhere. And it's a brand new battery that I haven't put into the car to start it.
I kind of just assumed that Forrest would let me scrap these vehicles because they're not really that nice, but he thinks he can get more.
If I can get $500 for this, which is nothing wrong.
Yeah, so they're talking about and multiple vehicles at property. I'm actually quite shocked because this is such a, a nicer community, I was actually surprised at how many vehicles there were. Of course, we see tons of vehicles with people who, live where I live, like out in the country. But this isn't really the type of neighborhood where that would be allowed. And somehow these vehicles are out here. So yeah, this is really common, guys. The search for titles and keys. I spend a lot of time looking for car titles and keys because we're usually dealing with, lots of vehicles, abandoned vehicles, non-running vehicles. Not just when I'm working on Hoarders, but just in general, working other jobs as well.
So I pulled up the blue book for him and showed him how much the cars actually were. Where's he at? This man's worth 150 to 480.
Yeah, so AJ's doing some research about the vehicles, and
this would be a good thing for you,
All right. What's the final decision?
It sounds like if we were to scrap it, it'd be pretty close to the blue book value, actually.
Good job, dude. Very good.
Yeah. And that's such a big thing to get those vehicles out of there because it usually is a zoning violation on top of, it's not, insurance agents do not like a lot of abandoned cars around houses. It's actually quite dangerous.
The painting outfit Forrest have on, is that something he had or is that something that was provided to him?
So how much time do you think we have for the downstairs to finish?
Maybe an hour.
Okay, I mean, we basically have 2 hours to do all of this. Yep. Maids will be here at noon, so the kitchen and
Okay, so, all right, there's that boy.
Upstairs already installing an AC. Dude, this is a lot today. And we got to do the whole upstairs.
Yeah, I mean,
Hopefully we get it done.
talk about multitasking. I mean, this is just a divide and conquer. I mean, they're in the bedroom. I'm with the organizers in the kitchen. You've got Matt outside with the vehicles. Like, it's kind of all hands on deck. And, since it is the last day, we kind of know where some of those boundaries are and, what things are more likely to, to go to different places. Okay, here, boy, you guys, the clothes. Here we go. Yeah. Saying time is running out. Forrest continues to stall the process.
Right now, I'm very concerned about how much time is left. I think my dad is micromanaging the process and going through each article of clothing.
So Haley said, this show usually makes me anxious, but hearing the behind the scenes aspect makes me appreciate it more. Yeah, like I said, I think one of my emails or social posts today, like I don't just go work all day and come home and watch the show because it's a little bit for me, it's a little bit too much like, things are going to get heated here. Here we go. Oh no. Yeah, we're still dealing with that clothing. I remember kind of the aftermath of this, but I actually I think I was on the other side of the yard, totally kind of zoned out doing my thing. I think too, when you're working in such a chaotic environment, like, I don't know, for me, I just, I kind of focus on the task at hand and I just sort of power through and, Oh no, guys. I think I know what's going on here. Yeah.
Wow. That escalated quickly.
It did escalate. Okay. So, commercial break.
I wasn't expecting that.
I wasn't sure they were going to show that little altercation. I was so in my own world that I actually walked over to Forrest later and I was like, what is this chair doing over here? Because the chairs go over in that, I had the chairs kind of under another tent. And then I was like,
He's
wait
like,
a
that's the
minute.
one I threw.
Yeah. So just tells you how focused I am. I was like, no, the chairs, this is the clothing sorting section, and the chairs, they go over there. So a little bit about an insight of where my mind is, but
Because you stopped saying maybe and saying yes. You damned the torpedoes, forded the Rubicon, and now it's time to conquer
yeah,
Rome.
things got real there, guys.
Start your business and keep it running with LegalZoom. Let's make it official.
I think one thing too that I'm looking forward to is that I don't actually get to see that final reveal reaction because I'm still usually out in the yard. So we'll see. I actually don't know how the guys come together at the very end. I didn't see it, so I'm kind of watching it with you guys for the first time. So I don't know. I'm on the edge of my seat as well. Like, how did they come together? Like Matt said, they have the exclusive moment and then they come back together and kind of move on. I guess we'll have to watch it together because after the cleaners come in and after they, they have the big, walk through and that big moment at the end, I'm kind of always outside for some reason. I don't know. I'm always outside, so I never get to really hear what they're saying. So we'll see. I'm hoping for some reconciliation. Yeah, I mean, you have to think about it. If they went through these 5 days together, I mean, this is so intense, guys. I mean, going through, clearing out, tackling, you're uncovering stuff, but you're also uncovering, all those emotions that have been also sort of, cluttered up inside the house. So, yeah, you're going to have that emotion. And I don't know. I mean, I can't really say, but I almost feel like maybe with the more tension, then the better the kind of reconciliation and the release and the moving forward and the healing. I don't know. I would certainly hope that. I'm definitely of the mindset of like keeping everyone calm and peaceful and like, let's stay very steady. Like that's my, my mindset and my, kind of outlook when I'm working with a client. So the emotion is a little intense for me because I don't often experience that with my clients, but that's not entirely true. I mean, I've had husband and wives fight. I've had, some tears, and I don't know. I just try to be that, steady, solid, steady, harmonious force while all this chaos is going on. I don't know if it's a gift or a skill, but I do like to stay the crazier things get, it's like the calmer I get. So I hope it helps. Yeah, so I've got a question a little bit about kind of the journey that I've been on. I mean, I've actually been working as a professional organizer for 19 years. So I've been, on all types of jobs. I don't exclusively, work with hoarders. I do traditional organizing. I do KonMari organizing. Oh my God, they're showing oh my gosh. They didn't do that in slow motion, did they? Oh no!
Well, I thought they shrugged it off pretty quick, though. I mean,
well, that was the thing. I think that's why I didn't really even. No, now this is a flashback. Is that a flashback or is this the next scene?
It's after he threw the chair.
Okay. Well, let's see. See, look at me. I'm just over there sorting. I know. Yeah. I mean, what else can you do, really? I don't know. I mean, I thought it calmed down. Oh my goodness, they're still looking at shoes.
Pairs of golf shoes. And you want to keep this piece of crap. Keep it all this.
That's all you need to do is motivate the vision like that.
In the bedroom.
That rug was coming out of the bedroom. Is Matt cussing?
Probably.
There's a lot of beeping all of a sudden. See, close. Laura and Carolina just close. Close.
Are you in the
Well,
refrigerator?
No, that was Laura in the
okay.
refrigerator. And the reason I was even standing there so long, there was actually quite a large mouse situation that I was having one of the guys come and help me with. Because I kind of needed like a trash can, like really close to where I was working. I was like, come here.
I'm struggling, man. I mean, throwing away my stuff, man.
Right now, it's free.
What am I doing there? I'm just kind of hanging out.
Hey, Jay, I prefer you don't throw nothing of my stuff away.
We're donating to people that can actually use it.
It's not.
People that can actually use it.
I don't want you doing nothing else.
I won't tell you nothing
Am I
else.
inside or back
I won't
outside?
tell you nothing else. Fine.
Okay, guys. Okay, here comes. All right. So we've got the old refrigerator went out. Okay, so here you guys are seeing we've got new mattresses coming in. We've got new refrigerator coming in. We have a new washer dryer coming in. I did not know there was a laundry room, and I was working right next to it for quite a while when I was. Yeah. Oh, you guys you're not gonna believe this house, guys. You're not gonna believe it. Okay, here we go. Okay, well, AJ seems happy. Good to see him smiling.
Thanksgiving dinner again.
All right, guys.
It's a beautiful house. I mean, just
Space.
okay.
Actually got a lot out of this house. 10 tons of trash came out of this house.
10
That's a lot.
tons of
They
trash.
kept a lot, like quite a bit.
You can actually see the floor.
Wow. You see it?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful house. I mean, look at that stone and
I could do a front flip in this thing.
Yeah.
500-gallon fish tank still there. Well,
I can see it.
see, I never get to see this part, guys. Probably still outside sorting something. They never let me come in. It's too many people, but.
The thing to remember is that you worked hard to get it to this place. Without you, it wouldn't have happened.
Pretty much all.
You allowed us to take 20,000 pounds of stuff out of this
Oh
house.
my
You
gosh.
had to give us permission. Our goal was to clean the entire house. We did not achieve that. The other goal was to make this place safe and make all the HOA violations go away. We've done that. I think this is a win. It's good to see Forrest happy. I think he's starting to see that he can actually do this, that he can live in his home again. Look to your left for me. What do you see there?
Wow.
Look at that new refrigerator. See, that's the door to the laundry room. It was,
Got a
yeah.
brand new refrigerator. Got a brand new washer and dryer.
You got a lot of counter space.
It was a very nice kitchen. I mean, I walked. Yeah, see that. I didn't even know that laundry room existed.
Spaces like that for 10 plus years. Is that air conditioner there?
Let's go upstairs.
Oh, good. They got the air conditioning working. And you guys,
It was hot, wasn't it?
it was so hot. I mean, it was probably, I know in the 80s. I don't know.
A brand new refrigerator. I know my dad is ecstatic about that. He was actually speechless.
Yeah, I mean, upper 80s. I don't know if it got too much into the 90s, but it was humid. Oh, look at his eyes going into his bedroom.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a nice room. Oh,
Aw.
my, oh.
Man, this is your room.
Oh my God. This is oh, it's unbelievable.
Oh my gosh.
When I walked into that bedroom, it brought tears to my eyes because it gave me some indicators that I can get my house back. I should have never
Whoa.
got in
Yeah.
that situation in the first place.
Sorry, we're checking out the
So,
the nice tub set up in the main bedroom.
it's amazing.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's been 10 years.
Where we stand today, this is a huge success. We're offering him aftercare. He says he's going to take advantage, and I really hope that he does. But if he doesn't get the aftercare therapy, then the chances of him continuing to fill the void that led to this problem are really high.
I'm gonna
Yeah, I mean, so the question is, do I consider this a win? In many respects, certainly
get the house just like this.
in immediate respect, yes, because new bed, clear stairs, we have that safety.
There you are in the credits.
All right, let's see what they say about aftercare. Hope they show it.
Will help Forrest do that. But they still got a lot of work to do. This is not over.
Yep. That's me, aftercare organizer. Good. Yeah.
Hey, great.
Oh
no.
my gosh. No. Oh, God. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I mean, they said that thing about his eyesight. It really upset me. Let's turn off intervention. Wow. Yeah, guys, that was, oh man. I need to check in with him and see how he's doing. Yeah, so I guess, they did mention the aftercare organizer coming in. That was me. They didn't show a lot of the stuff that we did together because we cleared out some more things in the yard. But I can tell you guys after after the show, from what I saw, I did do some visits to the house later, and I did see a lot of improvement and clearing on his own. So I don't know. We'll have to get even more of an update. That's really sad about, I hope he's recovering from that. I might have to check with some of the team to see if they have an update from that, because, oh gosh. Yeah. Thanks, Maureen. Thanks you guys so much for joining me. I thought the episode was going to air later, and I'm not much of a night person, but thank you for hanging in there with me. I hope you enjoyed that. Next week's show, which they did show a preview for, is Dolores. Did also work on that show, so maybe we'll do this again. If you guys want to do that, we can do this again next week. Yeah, awesome. Thanks. Okay, you guys have a fantastic night. Stay in touch. I'm going to keep the replay up on my YouTube channel, and yeah, I've got some fans here. And if you guys like this format, I'll do it again for the other episodes that I've worked on. And thank you guys. This actually made it kind of fun, because probably if it wasn't COVID, I would be somewhere with lots of people watching the show and talking about it. So I'm glad I got to do that with you guys. And have a great night. Maybe I'll see you next time.